Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk Nintendo Podcast episode 83. We are coming to you live via the internet, and I'm with the one, the only, Mr. Perry Burkham.
Yo.
And my name is Casey Gibson.
What's up, Casey? How's it going?
Skip up a day. I'm all right.
You know, I was just feeling jazzy tonight. You know what I mean? It's just a jazzy kind of Tuesday.
Yep. The old jazz. Nothing wrong with a little stand-up bass.
Heck yeah. It's my favorite instrument, upright bass.
It would be, you big Jimmy.
Yep, I used to be in a bluegrass band.
Then we should have started out with some bluegrass and not the jazz.
Well, it's you know.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. Go ahead and talk about stuff while I put this bass down.
Yeah, so that was an interesting little intro. Perry, like you said, he was feeling a little jazzy. He tried to change it up here, but this is going to be a normal episode. We've got a bunch of games to talk about in what we've been playing. Each of us have two, and then we've both been playing one game that I believe comes out the day this episode airs. Of course, then we're going to be getting into the old eShop Roundup, which has a bundle of games and quite a bit of news, especially one big, I was going to say tidbit, but I'd say it was definitely a big headline, and that just actually came through Twitter this morning, but we'll get into all that in a little bit. Is your bass down, you big Jimmy?
Well, my bass is down, but my microphone that's glued and taped together is about to fall off. I think we're fine.
You're falling apart tonight. You were late. Your audio didn't work. You couldn't hear me. Now your microphone's breaking.
I know, but I'm almost ready. But
I'm gonna need to find a new co-host.
Who's going first? Is it me or you?
Well, I've changed it up here.
You doing the old change?
Yeah, I figured this way we could keep our alternating talking. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
So do you have any piece to say before we get into what we've been playing?
I do. We have a new section, a new segment. Are you excited for this new segment?
What new segment?
Not news segment, new segment.
And that's what I said. What new segment?
Oh, I thought you said what news segment, like you were trying to make fun of me or something. Oh, okay. It's called Quick Mentions. Quick Mentions!
That should be like the quickest jingle ever. Like, quick mentions.
Yeah. Yes.
Quick mentions.
I'll do that. Yeah. So this segment is to games that I played a little bit that maybe we've talked about before on the show, or that I just don't have a lot to say. Both of us. It's not just my segment. It's our segment.
But it's yours today.
Because I had a couple games that I played that I didn't want to talk about for a while. So anyway. Last week, you may remember that on the podcast, I purchased the Arcade Archives Ninja Kid. Remember that?
I sure do.
Yeah, it's because I was seduced.
It's because I was there.
You enabler? You're an enabler.
Yep.
I was seduced by its delicious-looking platforming pixel goodness and Shy Guy likeness. I got it, and it's not that good.
Terrible.
It's not terrible. It has some unique ideas. It's a vertical like platformer action. Like you don't move left and right at all, and it's level based. So it's kind of like Donkey Kong. Kind of like Donkey Kong actually a lot. Now that I think about it, except for the jumping is better.
Except
and there's
worse.
a really cool mechanic. Yeah, I mean there's just a bunch of enemies. You got to kill them, then you move on to the next level, and that's it. And then, and you throw throwing stars. And so you run, jump, and throw throwing stars and try to avoid. And that's literally the whole game.
You mean shurikens?
Yeah, shurikens. Now, the thing about it is, or the cool hook that I thought is interesting, and something I didn't really see on any NES games because of the buttons. But So the way it works is if you're holding left or right, like if you're walking left or right, and then you jump, you'll jump up. You know, you will jump. But if you just hit the jump button, you'll drop down. So it's just an interesting where if it's just a single button press on the jump button, that's your drop down.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, that is a little weird.
You know,
cool,
like
though.
that, and it's weird, but it actually works because you know when you're dropping down, you don't need to be pressing a direction. And when you jump, I mean, I guess when you jump, you just got to make sure you're hitting up, I think. So, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of an interesting thing. But yeah, not a very interesting game. The colors, though, I'm just not used to those arcade colors. They're so cool. Like, because there's like the screen in between levels, and it keeps in like it's this really cool, like pixel, ancient, you know, samurai dojo thing. And it shows, and at every level, like you go up, the colors change, and it's just I'm just not used to seeing those colors in the 8-bit style, or you know what I mean. So really cool. Anyway, I mean that's that, but not a very good game. It's okay. I don't regret my purchase.
They did tout it as a masterpiece, so it did have a lot to live up to.
They tout all their games as masterpieces, but
somebody said it sometime, somewhere, once.
Dang it, if I don't hurry up, this isn't going to be a quick mention.
Yeah, this is the longest quick bites of all time.
The next quick mention is Graceful Explosion Machine. I finally picked this up. We're going to talk about it in the news.
Did you buy it on sale?
I did buy it on sale. And I bought it because it was in our, it was in like the running at PAX for our top 20 games. Like, I don't know how it got in there. I'm like, what? So I was like, okay, if someone thinks it's that good, you know, which I think it was Neil, because I think he said that.
Yep.
I picked it up because it's like I've always wanted to. You know, that was like an early launch game, but I just wasn't into shooters. Like I really wasn't, and really what transformed me was 10 Tons. They kind of made me, and I really was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? This actually sounds cool, and I like the game a lot. It's cool, level based. It's not a twin stick shooter. It's cool, but, you know, so it's cool because you can play it with Joy-Cons, right? Just a single Joy-Con. Because instead of controlling like 360 movement, you hit L and it switches your left and right. So yeah, I've been enjoying that. It's not blowing me away like crazy, but it is fun.
It's fun to rack up those combos once you sort of get familiar with it.
Yeah, and I love the permanent upgrades. I love that idea. Like you have that long sniper hit, you have the bombs, you have the short like a swing that goes around, like a 360 swing to take out enemies, and then there's just your normal. I think those was the 3. So I love using those and charging up and stuff, and yeah, it's a fun little game. It's a fun shooter. So yeah, but that's Graceful Explosion Machine. Something I didn't realize that was an acronym for GEM. Did you realize that?
Yep.
See, I've never thought about that, but that explains the title a lot.
Yeah,
better.
I mean, I played it, you know, quite a bit when it came out, or around when it came out, so I was sort of familiar with people writing Gem down for it. But yeah, it looks strange at first, and then it doesn't just necessarily go straight to Graceful Explosion Machine. But
right. Anyway, but that'll do it for the quick mentions.
Quick mentions.
We should name it Quick Bites, and then you can make a little
Quick Bites. Yes. Okay. Done.
Quick bites.
Yeah.
For bad games, we should have choking.
With the spit out sound, like that was disgusting. That's amazing.
Yes. Very good.
Well, I'm glad we got that settled. We can call today's podcast a success, no matter where it goes from here on out.
Yeah. Anyway, you have been playing a game.
I sure have.
Has an interesting name.
Yes, I've been playing Brakes Are for Losers. Now, this is sort of, I guess, a top-down little kart racer. It sort of has that, you know, sort of Super Mario Odyssey vibes. You know, remember that, like the mini game in New Donk City? Or did you never play the RC racing?
No, I know what it is, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's sort of similar to that. Like, you have that sort of over-the-top view, and it's just a racer, essentially. So it's really simple. You're always moving. So you never like really have to worry about like accelerating because you're always sort of just going forward and you're just sort of steering. There is a boost and it's limited. You know, you have a few uses. And I think when you stop in the little pit stops is when it recharges. I think you can also get like little items are scattered around the map, or they sort of appear, and I think you could pick up more boosts that way. But essentially, it's just steering, boosting, and then you have a honk button.
Nice.
Which it's just a tiny little baby honk, and that's it. Now, as you would imagine,
it doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Well, here's what I think it does eventually. As the title says, brakes are for losers. There are no brakes in this game, but you can buy them. Now, I'm sort of jumping around a little bit here, but essentially when you're going through a set of races, they call it a championship. It's like 10 races back to back. You can upgrade your car in between races, so you get points, and then you can put it into sort of, you can make your car faster, you can make it steer better, accelerate, or I shouldn't say accelerate, there's one other one, I forget what it is, maybe it's the traction, you're less slippery. Then there's like, you can upgrade your health, how fast you repair and all that, and you can also buy brakes. Now, to buy the brakes, it's like ridiculous, how many...
You have to sacrifice your dignity.
They really... I don't even know if it's, like, I feel like it's not even possible.
Oh,
because,
maybe that's the joke.
Yeah, like, so essentially, I think for the speed and your acceleration and stuff, it's 20 points. And then for, like, your health and stuff, it's 10. For the brakes, it's 1,000. Now, you can carry over your points in between races. So I think the only real way would be, like, to race the entire set without spending any money until you get the brakes, you know? But that's going to be tough because as you upgrade, also the other, I was going to say enemies, the other racers do as well. So their cars are going to get faster, you know, be able to take more hits and stuff.
That's a funny little hook.
Yeah, so I don't know. It seems like it'd be really counterintuitive to try to go for the brakes. But like you said, maybe that's just sort of the gag. Like, they're there if you want to, you know, suck and get last place, because brakes are for losers, you know.
Right.
But yeah, what's cool is like I said, so you go into the championship mode. There's also like custom, like quick matches and custom matches where you could sort of set how many races you want to do, how many laps and stuff. But the default for the championship is not actually laps; it's just a timer. So you just go around the track as many times as you can, and it fluctuates, you know, depending on the size of the course, but it's usually about a minute or so. And then you just try and get as many laps as you can and try and be first. So, and then you get points accordingly. And you go through the 10, and then you win, you lose, whatever happens. And then your car will reset. It's not like a permanent upgrade, so it's just upgrading for that set of races. And there's a couple of different cars you could pick from and stuff. The maps do vary, obviously, in layout quite a bit. You know, some are very turn-heavy. Some are more, like, they add, like, ice and stuff on the course that makes it a little slipperier. Wow. I always say that. More slippery. I think that's how you say it. Yeah, I always feel like I want to say slipperier. Which,
more slippy.
Yeah, more slippery. There you go.
More grippy.
Oh, no, less grippy.
More Uncle Grippy.
Some of them do, like, make the course dark, and then you sort of have to rely on your headlights of your car, so that's sort of cool, too. But essentially the game, I feel like, is, it's fun, but I just don't think the fun lasts very long, at least in a single-player environment. You can get up to, I believe, 8 players. I think 8 players. I don't know.
Oh, really?
It lets you, like, join in a bunch of people. I don't know the exact... I'd be curious if I could see real quick what the cap is, per se, for that. But, you know, as a single player, it seems like it'd be like a little... It'd be a hard sell, at least for me, because it's fun to do it, but it's, you know, you do one set of 10, and you're like, okay, well, that was that, you know? Like, I don't really want to go back and play more. But I could see in, like, a friend environment, if you had a couple people that wanted to play, it would be more fun, for sure. like I said, there are items that sort of sprout out around the map, so that is interesting. I mean, I think the coolest thing is definitely the upgrading your car in between the races. That was the most enjoyable thing for me.
The custom ability?
Yep. Yeah, to be able to go in there and sort of change it to how you like. And for me, like, I found that getting my HP and the repair rate up worked the best, because a lot of the times if you take a couple hits, you get in danger. And if you exhaust your HP bar, you just sort of break down for a second, and you repair out in the course to like the lowest setting, so you could try and get to the pit stop to heal back up. But for me, I noticed that it was just better to get in and out of that area as quick as you can and bypass it if you can altogether, because anytime you're not slowing down is great. So like I would upgrade those two things early on, and then like by the third or fourth race, I would start to notice the other cars were way faster than I was, but I was not stopping as much as them, so I'd still do all right. And then that was sort of when I shifted gears to upgrading the speed. But yeah, I mean, it's to me it works. It's sort of shallow, as far as at least again in a single player. I couldn't see.
Yeah, well, and are you a big fan of the top-down racers?
Um,
like that?
I mean, I wouldn't say I was a big fan. Yeah, I would probably say I'm in that camp of like I haven't really played too many like this.
Honestly, like I probably I can't even. I mean, like the only thing one I can think of is Wave Race for the Game Boy.
Yeah, or
the
like
original Wave Race.
Yeah, and I mean, I just want to make sure I made it clear as far as top down. So it's not it's not like an F-Zero where you're behind. It's just like you see the whole map and it's just sort of going around.
Yeah, so it's like you have to your direction changes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's weird, but
yeah, like I said, it's just
once you get the hang of it, if you can.
But it's not even very difficult, because there's 3 settings, so there's like easy, normal, and hard. And I did hard, and I was able to get first, despite like getting like 8th on one track, because it's sort of, so most tracks is just go one way, right? So there is this one track that sort of has, it's sort of hard to explain, but essentially like you go around one way and then you go around in another way. And it's easy to get knocked off your path, and then you go down the wrong turn, and then you need to turn around and get back to that other area. But then that's hard because you're always moving, you know what I mean? And then the turning and it.
Right.
So like that one, honestly, like after like 15 seconds, I was going the wrong way a bunch. I was just like, I'm not even going to be able to do this. So I just sort of put the switch down for the rest of the race, but I was still able to ultimately, after the 10, still pull away with the win. So it's not like a super difficult game, it's
that's sure.
But yeah, I mean, it just sort of is what it is. Like, I don't think it's a bad game. It's just not something that really jumped off the page at you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's funny, because speaking of that exact kind of
not jumping off the page.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about a game called Lode Runner Legacy. Lode Runner. Have you ever heard of this game?
No. I mean, I saw that it was coming out to the Switch, a week or so ago, but I don't know really much of the history, because it does have a very long history, right? Like the series itself.
See, here's the thing: is apparently this is like an NES game or something like that, and I've never heard of it. But this is called Lode Runner. Oh, it's called Lode Runner Legacy. That's right. Sorry, I forgot about that. I got that. Lode Runner Legacy. So yeah, apparently it has a legacy. And
I don't know. That other game was a masterpiece. These game makers are just saying whatever they want these days, Perry.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah. So what it is it's a side-scrolling puzz form. So a classic puzz form. Really old school controls. Reminds me a lot of. It actually reminds me a lot of Spelunker. Spelunker. Yeah. Remember that old Spelunker Party?
Yeah, you reviewed that game, didn't you?
I did. And it was fine, it wasn't bad, it wasn't amazing. this is how Lode Runner Legacy is. It's a good game, and it has lots of content. So I'm going to start with one of my favorite things about the game, and I'm going to use a term that my friend Casey came up with called custom ability. The custom ability is amazing. And when mean that, I mean customization. Yes, it is important. This is one of the things that attracted me about this game, seriously, the most is that you can create your own levels, and on top of that, you can create your own character, like legit out of voxels, like 3D pixels, your own character. So I made myself. I gotta send you a picture or like a video of me playing. I made myself, and it's hilarious. You can design the torso, the head, the legs, the arms. It's amazing, and he runs around, and it's great. I think that should be in like every video game. I love it. I think like especially with like a retro throwback game, because yeah. So the way, and then the levels too. So the way the game works is you're running around and you're just trying to collect all of the gold in the level. So there, the 5 little things that you collect.
And the level is like one screen, right?
Yep, one screen. The size of it changes and stuff. But yeah, it's one screen, and there's enemies, and the big thing, the Lode Runner thing. So you're running around, and you can dig. So if you press the Y button, then which is the left button, you'll dig out the ground to the left of you. So that other enemies, if they're chasing you, they'll fall into the hole, and then you can walk over them.
Okay, cool.
Does that make sense? So
yeah.
You dig it, and then
like
then the A button, pitfall. There you go. Yeah, that's what this should be called, pitfall runner. And the other, the A button is on your right side. And then you can climb ladders. There's also monkey bars like that you can grab onto, and you can drop down. And it's funny because like when I played this game, I'm thinking like Donkey Kong or a Spelunker. I'm thinking like if I fall, I'm dead, But you don't.
Oh,
you don't die.
It's so nice.
There's no fall damage. It is nice.
I was just say the worst is in those old games, and you fall like half of your character's length, and it's like, whoop, you're dead.
Donkey Kong, yep. Yeah, that's in Spelunker. Those, yeah, awful. But this game is good with that. And let's say like the enemies will be chasing you, like they literally chase after you, and they can grab gold too. And the only way, so then it's like if an enemy grabs gold, you have to pitfall them, and then grab the gold from them, and that's it. And then you move on to the stage. So the way it works is it's kind of hard because if you're standing, like let's say you're standing like you make a hole, and you fall into the hole, you can't get out. If there's not anything, if you're not standing, like if you can't walk to the left or right of you, you can't dig a hole. So you can't dig a hole directly underneath you. Mm-hmm. So that poses like this weird, like puzzle in your brain, like where it's hard to, because you think that you can obviously do underneath you, but you can't. So a lot of times they'll be doing the level, and I'll fall, and then I can't get out, so I have to restart the level. So it's kind of old school that way. Also, like after a while, like after like 5 or 10 seconds or something like that, the ground will reappear, and if you're stuck in that ground, then you're
toast.
Yep. And then also you can kill enemies that way too. It's like if you trap them at just the right time, so that it is, because they'll be in the hole for a little bit, but they'll jump back out before the hole is built again into a ground.
Oh, so they can jump out, those dogs.
They can jump out after a little bit, so plenty of time to run away. But then again, like the enemies can get trapped. You can kill the enemies, and you get points for that. But then it's weird because then at the end of it, you're judged, and like you'll get points for not killing any enemies. Like it's weird.
For it being technically harder or something.
Yeah. So and there's like if there's a gold that's like glowing, and if you make it to that, if you get that gold first, then you get like tons of more points. So that's really
there's
cool
little challenges
technique.
within like every normal.
Yeah. And then one of the cool things is the whole original Lode Runner NES game, I think it's NES, I'm pretty sure that's what I read, is in the game. They included the whole thing, and it's in like kind of retro looking graphics.
Oh, that's sweet. So it's sort of like just a ROM within the game, probably.
No, I think it's the same physics and everything. So it's kind of like an updated version of the original, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so it's cool, and you can upload levels, you can create your own levels, your own people, and even your own items, and your own enemies. You can create everything. It's great. It's such a fun idea.
Yeah, it looks like a cool little package.
Yeah, it is, and it's kind of hard to use the editor because it's not touchscreen. But honestly, you get used to. Yeah, but you get used to it, and like honestly, it wasn't. I mean, like it took a while, but it wasn't that bad. And there's a cool mirror mode. So that you can just design the left half of something.
Oh, and then
and it will
flop
mirror
it over.
So it was which is that cuts the time in half. So
literally,
and then you can switch. Then you can switch it off if you want to do anything like asymmetrically. So anyway, I'd say it's a good game if you're on a budget and you're looking for a fun puzzle form. I'd recommend this. The only thing I'd say is like it's not from what I've played. I haven't played a lot of it, but a couple hours. It doesn't get super. Doesn't change dynamically that much, but I haven't even dived into like online players stuff. And there's like a multiplayer mode, which I've heard isn't like the best, but that's also something to consider as well. So it might be a good like Joy-Con break off game. Someone if you are doing that at work and stuff like that, or at school. So yeah, that's Lode Runner Legacy. I believe that's on the eShop for I think it's like
$11.99. Yep.
Okay, cool. Yep. So if that sounds cool, check that out. But this next game, I was gonna say I downloaded Lode Runner Legacy.
You downloaded it
from our hotel room.
Oh, did
at
you?
PAX. Yeah, and I first played it on the plane. But man, dude, on the plane, I don't know what was going on. Like I don't know, like there is something. Like when you're up in the air and there's something really different about, and I could not. I was looking.
The load doesn't run as well in the sky.
No. It wasn't that. It's like I could not focus my eyes on something for more than a second. Like anything, I looked somewhere. It's like my eyes can't focus.
Maybe
like,
it's
it was
sort
like
of
the
like
worst thing. So I was trying to.
Emotion.
I was trying to play this game.
Of some sort, maybe
something like that. Yeah, I was trying to play this game, and it's like I can't play this. Like I'm losing my mind here. I can't focus.
Yeah, Caitlin,
it's awful.
If she can't read like in the car or something, or even like look down at her phone for too long, and I think it's because like maybe just out of the peripherals, you sort of see everything moving and it's sort of distracting or whatever. But yeah.
Well, also like the pressure, being in the air. But also, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Like sometimes, and it's not all the time. But sometimes I'm in the car.
Only when I'm a pansy.
Like, have you ever been in a car where you can't close your eyes?
Nope.
Or your eye. Yeah, that's happened to me where it's like when I close my eyes, like they roll around and like I can't, and I feel like I'm gonna barf.
Yeah, I guess I'm lucky. I don't really get any sort of motion sickness or anything like that. So.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just superior to you.
But I was gonna say So I got Lode Runner at PAX. Which was my segue to the next game.
Yes, and this game we both got at PAX, and
we sure did.
In a beautiful physical case.
Ow!
Ow, 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 ow! Darkest Dungeon. Yes, Darkest Dungeon. Now, this is a game that I had heard a lot about, I feel like from all over, because I know this was a game that came out on Steam and PC, and I'm pretty sure it's out for everything.
Yeah, and funnily enough, this was a game that was also nominated in the top 20 for the top 5 games at our panel.
Yeah, I feel like Neil was like, we better get some Nindies up in that piece.
People at the Nintendo Air were like super mad that there were Nindy questions.
Oh, yeah. What the hell is this crap?
Yeah, like, where's the Zelda questions?
We
That's
want
what everyone's
Pokemon!
yelling. Yeah.
I don't blame him.
Anyway, Darkest Dungeon. Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah, so Darkest Dungeon, I didn't really know too much about it aside from that it's a brutal game, brutally tough.
Yeah, brutal roguelike, right?
Yes and no.
Or not?
No, not really.
Yes and no? Okay. Not really, okay.
Well, it's like you're going to have a lot of characters die and stuff, but like it's a continuous sort of thing. So,
Do you save?
yeah. Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, this is more of a RPG than a roguelike.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Although, like, I'm looking at the thing here. Darkest Dungeon is a challenging, gothic, roguelike, turn-based RPG. But anyway, I'll describe it, and I'll let you guys be the judge.
Fill me in with your wisdom so that I can have a better start than you did.
Yes. Well, I should say I've only played probably like 4 or 5 hours, maybe more like 4.
Oh, wow.
Cause maybe
That's a
like
lot.
more, closer to 4. But I feel like I've barely made any progress.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe I don't know. I don't know the exact time, but so you get in there, right? And it's sort of like you're in this hamlet, the town, and you need to go and do these quests, and pretty much everything in this it's like super depressing. Everything's bad. And what I've learned about this game is like you're just trying to limit like the crappiness of like the situation. You're like, I just want this, like, it's going to be crappy, this situation we're in, but I want it to be the least amount of crappy as possible. So like you go into this dungeon, or you go into the quests, and there's different quests, and they sort of like right now I have a bunch open, and one is sort of when you hover over it, like your team's like, no, don't send me. Like, I'm not ready. Like, no, it's too difficult. Like, don't do that one yet. So you go into one of these other quests, and you go into a dungeon or, whatever, what have you. And the map is sort of like into your bottom right corner, and you can move up, left, right, depending on where it is. And you sort of get to these rooms, and then that's sort of where you can dictate where you go next. So when you're traveling from room A to B, on the screen, it's side-scrolling. So you're just literally going from the left side of the room to the right side of the room. And, like, there's some traps and some chests, and then enemies pop up, depending. And you go through that, and then you'll get to a room, which is sort of like, I'm trying to think of a good word for it, but like a hub, or like a little, like, spot on the map. Like, a node. That might work well. So you're at the node, and then when you're in there, there's 2 branching. You can either go right or left. And then you just, when you're in that room, the node, you just hit left on, your in the stick, or right, and then you'll go in that path. And then it'll go back to that side-scrolling right to left. So it's always, like, it doesn't necessarily always match up with the map, so it's a little confusing in the beginning to sort of realize how it all works. But once you sort of, like, get through one quest, it all starts to make sense exactly how it works out. But the early quests are like, explore 90% of this area. So it's just literally going and exploring, and that's sort of, I guess, a good way to sort of introduce you to navigating the dungeons, So you go through, and there's enemies, and when you encounter an enemy, it just turns into like a turn-based battle. So you've got your team of 4. They've got however many enemies. Sometimes, it ranges. Sometimes there's only 2. Sometimes there's 4. And each of your party members have different abilities. So some are more, be up close in the front of the line because they're going to be doing more melee attacks. Then you've got people who do magic and healing. And I guess how you get these enemies, or your partners, I should say, is sort of random. When you're in the town, you unlock, like, everything starts off sort of locked, and they start unlocking things to not overwhelm you too much. And one of the first things is, like, this wagon where you recruit new people. So, like I said, you're going to have people die a lot when you're out in the field. And the toughest thing is the fact that they just get, like, stressed out. And just by being down in that dungeon, they'll randomly just get, like, stress points accumulating against them.
Stress points.
And it's not like, there's no, like, a bar or gauge, or at least I don't think there is. And it's just like, you'll see, like, oh, like, they just got, like, 8 stress. Like, okay, whatever. And eventually, as you're going, you can sort of get, I don't know, anti-stress points. I don't know what they would exactly call them, but like
Calm point,
yeah,
peace points.
so you sort of like counterbalance that, but eventually they get to the point where it's like, oh, like they need to, judgment comes up, and then like, because I guess they've hit a certain stress hold, and they can either overcome it, and then all of a sudden then they'll be giving off like a buff to you and that person and their teammates, and like you're like, okay, like they're fighting through it, but like more often than not it's like, oh, he's selfish now, and then like when you come up to a chest item, like sometimes he'll just run up and grab all the items and you won't get anything, but then like they also stress out the rest of your team. So it's like once one of your guys is stressed out, it like negatively affects the entire team, to the point where like then all of a sudden they're starting to get stressed out and then getting these negative ailments and it's just like it snowballs really quick sometimes, where it's like, what the hell just happened? Like I was doing fine and now everyone's like has all these negative buffs and people are like having heart attacks. Like I literally was at a point where I was like sort of low on health, and I was like, you know what? I can rest by the fire here. That must help me. Mm-hmm. And then I did that, and then like they all got stressed out, and like 3 of them had heart attacks. 2 of them died, and I was like, what the heck? Like I was seriously like,
you rested by a stress fire.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck, man? I stopped here because I thought this would help me.
There's nothing more stressful than relaxing by a fire.
Yeah. Oh God. So I was like, man, that's ridiculous. But when it does, like when you do complete a mission, it really does feel like, wow, like we earned that. Like we really earned that. You know what I mean? Like it felt really good to get through them. And there's a lot of upgrading and stuff. So when you're in the town, when your person gets stressed, there's like different areas within the town that you could bring them. Pay a little gold. They'll have to sit out your next mission, you know, or your next quest you take, and they'll de-stress, and then they could join your team again for the next time. But you can upgrade these different places, so you can upgrade like the wagon I mentioned to get more friends. You can upgrade like the blacksmith and to get better equipment and stuff. So I'm still early on messing with that, because to upgrade it, you need to have like certain materials that you find out. It's just 2 different materials that I guess are just sort of scattered about in the dungeons and stuff. So collecting that money, you can upgrade to, you know, get better weapons and items and all that, and presumably, you know, obviously bolster your team to continue to do more difficult challenges. But like I said, a lot of it is just sort of managing and trying not to die. So there is no like health like potions or anything when you're out in the field. You can eat food, but it gives you such a minuscule amount of health, it's not even worth it. Because you do when you're down in the dungeon for a long time, it will be like your team's hungry, and then you like, do you want to eat? And then if you have food, you can eat, and like you said, it gives them all like sort of 1 health, and it just sort of, oh, okay, they're good, they're not gonna starve and start hurting themselves. But so like there were times where you need to sort of make sure you have someone who can heal, and like when I ran into an enemy, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take out 3 of the 4 enemies, I'm gonna try and stun that last enemy, and then just sort of try and heal up while I'm in the battle here for next time. So it's sort of meticulous in that sense, where it's like they don't throw you any bones with trying to, you know, make it through. Like it is a punishing game, and I think that is very much the appeal, is like, this is really tough, you're gonna have to work to sort of understand how this all works. And I'm not even there yet, because like I said, there's so many things going on, especially with the upgrading that I'm still working on and stuff, where it is definitely a game you're gonna want to invest some time into, whether you jump online and read a tutorial or watch a video or something. I feel like this is one of those games where it would be beneficial to be like, you know what, if I take 10-15 minutes to do a little research beforehand, it'll go a long way, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
instead of slamming your head against the wall to learn those things.
I did that with Goner. I mean, because it's like,
well, you had 2 professionals to talk to. Me and Justin.
No, I played it before you did. I convinced you to get it.
I know, I'm kidding.
You big gym bot.
But yeah,
Yes,
I mean,
you're much better than me.
the art style is really cool. I like the art style. The character design's really cool. Like I said, I mean, it's very tough, but it is fun when you do. Like I said, it really is. It feels like an accomplishment when you beat a quest, and I've only finished a handful of quests, so that's maybe why that feels like that. But yeah, if you're looking for a really tough game, and I'm looking at sort of screenshots here, and I'm seeing like this one map that's like 30 times the size of the maps I've encountered already. So it's like I can only imagine how difficult this game gets. But yeah, I mean, definitely an interesting game. I'm glad we picked it up though.
Cool.
Yeah, or
Very
do you
good. I'm
plan
excited
on starting it anytime soon, or?
Yeah, I mean, not. I haven't really. So I have like, there's three. It's in my 4-game backlog right now. I have The End Is Nigh, Rhyme, Axiom Verge, and then I have Darkest Dungeon. But, I don't know. It's gonna be. It could be the next one I play. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder how long it'll sort of keep my attention. But I might, who knows, you put that time and you might get to the point where everything's clicking and it's like you're starting to finally be able to push through, and that might be when all of a sudden it's like, well, I just invested like a whole ton of hours into this game,
Well, I'm thinking it kind of reminds me of Kingdom New Lands, kind of how you're talking about, just slowly learning how everything works. And
yeah, because
that was so much fun for me. So.
I was going to say, I'm looking on howlongtobeat.com, and Darkest Dungeon, they're saying the main story, 50 hours, give or take. Main plus extra, 82 hours.
Not a roguelike. I don't get it. Like,
yeah, I wonder if they mean...
If you die, do you go back to the beginning? Or?
It's like if you... Yeah, because when you go...
Of the dungeon.
Well, the thing is, when you die, like, and you're in town, there's a little graveyard, so you can see your past heroes that died, but you just pick up some more heroes and work at it. Maybe it's they're saying sort of roguelike in the sense that you lose your characters, they're gone, and then you have to sort of build your other characters up. But the way I see it is it's probably going to be a game where you sort of build up, and you could take 4 out with you at a time, where you maybe have like 10 characters that are all pretty good, because they're going to get an ailment that sort of requires them to sit out a battle. So I figure you're going to probably need at least 2 full teams, you know what I mean? And then factor in the fact that people are just going to die. So it seems like a game that you're always going to want to sort of keep like a healthy stock of party members to sort of bring in and out. But I mean, I guess that's maybe where the roguelike, quote unquote roguelike, comes in, but who knows?
Yeah. I see. Well, it's funny because I have it in my backlog. And I plan to get to that backlog, but it doesn't help when I download new games.
Yeah,
like every
I know
day
it's
this past week.
A never-ending struggle.
And I gotta tell you, you can throw some shade, as you've been saying recently, at me for this next game that I picked up, because I gave you some heck when you got it. That's Shovel Knight on the Switch. Yep, because I was talking to you, and you have it on 3DS, you have it on Wii U, and you still bought it at launch on Switch. And I was like, why? Like, you can play it portably, you can play it at home, like what is the meaning of this?
Back when you thought you'd still be playing the 3DS.
Exactly. See, that there is the key to my ignorance. Yes, and so it went on sale. It's usually $25 for Treasure Trove, and I'm not gonna just buy one of the campaigns. I want to play all of them. So, and I'm really looking forward after our interview with Yacht Club at PAX. After seeing you play it, I'm really looking forward to King Knight. Really bad, and so I wanted to play through the games. So I thought, buying it for Switch, it's on sale. Let's go! I want to play through Shovel of Hope, which is the perfectly titled first campaign of the game.
Shovel of Hope. That is good.
like Star Wars: A New Hope, right?
Yep.
Because they the posthumous
the last shovel.
Yeah, that's David's favorite one.
Yep.
But yeah, played through Shovel of Hope, and I'm almost done through Plague of Shadows. Shovel of Hope, I really had a fun time. I think I've beaten the game. I know I've at least beaten it twice, but I think I've played it through 3 times easily.
I think I have as well.
I'm pretty sure. Because I remember beating it and then going through New Game Plus, and then
I've definitely
getting to
played
the
it
end
twice.
boss, and it's like ridiculous. Like playing through the New Game Plus, you got to face every single boss without any healing, like without any of the roasts to heal yourself in between. I couldn't do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it sounds miserable.
I did the whole rest of the game, but I couldn't do that. But yeah. So anyway, I played the Shovel of Hope. Feels really good on the Joy-Con analog stick. Because something I kind of forgot about is the down. Like it's actually kind of more comfortable playing on an analog stick because you're pressing, like the way it works, you're pressing down, and it's kind of easier, like when you're jumping, to just swing the Joy-Con, the analog stick down to hit your shovel down. So I really like that. It looks just gorgeous on the Switch screen. I've played it both on TV. I do miss the stereoscopic 3D. Like I really do. I mean that really is a game changer.
Shovel Knight was one of the best to do it too. They always made it look so beautiful.
It's just pixel. It's like I feel like Shovel Knight is made for the 3DS. You know, like made for the 3DS, and then it was like ported to other things. Like that's how I kind of feel about it, because it's like fits that it makes the screen look gorgeous, and but it's amazing on Switch. Playing through so the last one I played through was the Spectre Knight. You know, which I can't remember what that one's called. Anyway, playing through it, the Spectre one was way different. Like the levels were way different.
Well, Spectre Knight, right, is the one that sort of flies through the air when he hits an enemy, right?
Yeah.
Like you could be sort of falling, hit an enemy, and then you sort of dart up. Yeah, that one I thought was...
That campaign is so different, you know.
Oh, yeah, big time.
So,
because...
Yeah. So going back to Shovel of Hope and then playing through and then starting Plague of Shadows, I was thinking that it was kind of a bigger difference too. But really, Plague of Shadows is almost the same game as Shovel of Hope. And I mean that like level wise, like there are a lot of differences in levels, but like screen for screen, it's very similar. Where I feel like in the Spectre, and I'll play it through, so it was like they literally had like different aesthetics and stuff. So like I felt like the Spectre was even a different game. But where Plague of Shadows differs a lot, and I've talked about this before, which is so funny. It's funny I'm playing through this because I've talked about this. I think I played through Plague of Shadows. I beat it before Spectre came out. So that's the last time I talked about this, which is funny that our podcast is already old enough that I'm playing through a game again that I've talked about. But really,
that is
something that I didn't do in Plague of Shadows at the beginning was I did not at all, and this is same with Shovel Knight. I did not at all like use items like the magic. I just because I was like, I never want to use items because I don't want to be dependent on the magic. So
then
I never really upgraded
going
it.
Gets tough.
Yeah, but this run of Shovel of Hope, I upgraded my magic all the way. I mean, I played way better this run. You know, I had tons and tons of money.
That's because you cheated. You used the items.
That's true. Well, I mean, oh my goodness! Like I don't even think I've even had the sword dash that you can get in the game. I don't think I've even had that before. So, and then with Plague of Shadows, oh my goodness, there's so many things that I didn't get at the beginning of the game, because when I first played it, I didn't play it all the way through, and then I went and finished it before the Spectre came out, and so there's a bunch of stuff in the early game that I didn't pick up, like there's like a platform weapon. Do you remember that? Where if you use your special and he'll put a platform underneath you that you can jump off of again. It's insane. So it's like, I mean, like that helps so much.
That's cheater mode.
It's not cheater mode.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Because it's still really hard, right? So the big difference was, and what did I want to say when I said that there wasn't a big difference between Shovel of Hope and Plague of Shadows? like level wise, but gameplay wise, they're like, completely different. Where now you can kind of go anywhere on the screen, like basically anywhere you want, especially with the with that power up. But yeah, I mean, like the customization where I'm constantly switching how I throw my bombs. You can upgrade your arc, you can upgrade how it explodes, and then let's see and then how long it takes the fuse, how long it takes to explode.
Oh yeah, that's really
I mean,
that was one that I
change
definitely
them
did
all
a
the
lot
time.
of messing around with. Yeah, I felt like that one was so much fun to just mix and match.
Yeah,
because they really do feel so different. Even just like changing up, like you said, one aspect of it.
Yeah. So then like it makes certain. I mean, if you can get it right, it makes certain enemies, certain bosses, like a cakewalk. Yeah, and I love that feeling though, because I feel like you earn it, because the game is pretty tough, and how you control is pretty tough, and
it's nice to figure out like the formula to that boss. Oh, there you go, boom.
Yeah, exactly. So, really, really enjoyed Shovel of Hope. It's a really great game. Really enjoying Plague of Shadows. I'm gonna beat it pretty soon. I really enjoy the custom ability.
It's very important to have that custom ability when you can.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are you going to play through all of Spectre?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you're doing a
Can't
full
wait.
Shovel Knight run. You're
Yep,
like, I've
before
got
King.
games on my backlog, but I'm going to undertake 4 new games.
I know. But I beat Shovel Knight in a day, and I started, and I beat.
No, I was going to say, if you know what you're doing, obviously having played, at least Shovel Knight before, you can get through it pretty quick.
I think the first time I played it, it was like 13 hours. So it's it really changed a lot. I was a Jimmy when I first played it.
Once you get that sort of muscle memory back, like you said, you sort of get a level under your belt, and you're like, oh, all right, it's coming back to me now.
Yeah, and it's really good. Now,
I downloaded it, and then I don't think I ever played it.
Oh, really?
I think I played a very
well. Then
little
who's
bit
the
of
Jimmy?
Spectre Knight when it came out, but no, I haven't beaten that.
Oh yeah, you played Spectre, yeah.
But that'll be a game, like you said, when King of Cards, it's called, right?
King of Cards, yeah.
Yeah. So when that comes out, it'll be nice to be able to get in there,
Spectre
and that's why
Torment,
I bought
right?
it.
Spectre of Torment, I think is what it's called.
Yep. Yeah, it was one of those games. It's like, I know I'm gonna play this game, like the DLCs when they come out. So that's why. And I was still in that. Oh, it's the Switch first day. I'm spending money. Let's spend some more.
Mm-hmm.
You think I care about that $25 I spent on launch day? I sure don't.
I bet Kate does.
It's my money, dang it, Bobby.
Dang it, Bob. Well, speaking of your money, this next game is is it our last game?
Yeah, this is our last game in a very, what I'd say, pretty darn packed what we've been playing.
Woo-wee, yeah.
And I'm actually playing this game for review, and I believe you are just playing it for leisureness because you're
I'm
Jimmy.
playing it for this. They sent us a code.
Yes, they did.
Thomas did from Circle.
And those codes were for Ninja Striker.
Yeah, so Ninja Striker, I saw the press release for this, and I checked out the video, and I'm like, so here's the thing with Circle. Like, I saw it's from Circle. I like Circle. I really do. Like, I think that they're a cool company. I feel like they have a lot of potential. Like, I think their games look cool. They look retro, but I always feel like Mercenary Saga. It's just not my style. I don't know why I didn't like it that much. Other games, I just feel like these are cheap games. Like Ninja Striker is gonna be $4. So they're cheap games, which is cool, and like they're cool looking games, but I mean they've never been really deep experiences. You know what I mean? This isn't.
Yeah.
Or like
No, I know what you mean. I guess Mercenary Saga is probably sort of deep, but
it is deep, but yeah, in a different So. But this game looked awesome. Like from the trailer, I was like, okay, this game looks really cool. It's a side-scrolling, platformer like action game, right? Ninja Striker, and it looked insane. Like it looked like you're always in the air. and you're constantly striking enemies. And you're a ninja.
Yes, it sort of reminded me a little bit visually, like at a quick glance, like, oh, it looks sort of like Kid Trip, which is a game we've talked about, and I really like that game. It was super simple, but then when you look at this game, it is simple, but deeper, I'd say, than I would have thought, at least from how much content is involved. Now, like you said, it's a side-scrolling action platformer, so a lot of it, is you're essentially trying to get through the level as fast as you can, while
almost
also
a shooter too.
Yeah, while racking up as much of a combo as possible. Now,
this game should be called Combo Striker. I mean, it's there's such a huge emphasis on combo,
or even just Ninja Combo Striker.
yeah.
But so the game is really easy. You can move around, right? Or I should say the controls are very easy. You could just move around as you would in any other platformer. You've got a jump button, you've got an attack button, and then you have like a lock on to enemy / attack button. So it's weird because you don't ever really need to use the regular attack button. I just always end up spamming the one that locks on to the enemy.
Well, if you're gonna chain combos, you gotta use it.
And I mean, the way I play it is I just try and chain the entire level in one big combo.
And so I think you have to do that if you want to get 3 stars.
Yeah, so when you go through, you get, by hitting enemies, you get combos, and as long as you don't hit the ground and you stay up in the air, you can continue to rack that combo up. So essentially, you're going to be using that ability that locks onto the enemy, and you just sort of like lock on and end up hurling your way to this enemy. So you're flying through the air.
It's like a dash move.
Yeah, and like depending on, there are 4 different characters. The one character I was using is like he has like a grapple hook. So this
so you
range.
Haven't used the main ninja?
I used him the first time I played.
Yeah, I used the screw guy because I was like, he looks fun. And what the heck is wrong with you?
A screw guy, you're a pervert. But
I'm not the pervert.
I use the grappling hook guy. So when I use that ability, it essentially just grapples on to the next enemy, and I go flying towards him. I hit him, kill him, and then you can keep chaining that.
I didn't know there was a grapple guy. I've only played with the 2. Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, so you can keep on doing that, and when you do grapple, hit an enemy, you gain your jump back. So the way the game sort of, I've noticed, it has like a way it would like you to do it, because there's coins scattered about. So sometimes it'll be like, all right, the enemies will be on the same plane in the air, you know what I mean? So I could grapple them right away, but there are coins sort of on a diagonal towards that second enemy. So after I grapple that first enemy, I almost jump and sort of let myself fall a little bit down towards the ground, but then I grapple, so then that way I grapple through the coins. And
oh, nice. That's like, okay.
So then you can start, racking these combos up while collecting the coins, and you can easily, or I shouldn't say easily, but like you can very much from the beginning to the end of each level never touch the ground if you're good enough, because the enemies are always close enough that you can continue to chain it. And then you get to these points, it's crazy, where it's sort of like the DK barrels that launch you.
Yeah, but they're automatic.
Yeah, they're just arrows. So you land on them, and and you will be flying all over the board. This game gets insane. It like bonkers.
Yeah,
and you're like,
I mean, because like
what is going on?
Because every single thing, it's like you see like how many points you're getting. And the more the combo is, like it'll keep building up, kind of like a graceful explosion machine. Like it'll be 1.07, and you keep going in 1.08, and then you can get 2, up. I think you can max at 2. I think, right?
I definitely hit 2. But then once you start getting like 100+ hits, the combo like gains like it literally says whatever combo, like it gets more colorful and bigger, and you're like, oh yeah, we're racking this up. It's kind of
like Goner, kind of like when it gets insane in Goner.
Yeah. Now these levels aren't particularly long. They're probably about a minute or so. Also, sort of similar to Breaks Are for Losers, but they're pretty snappy levels. But if you do die, you go all the way back to the beginning. There's no checkpoint. So there were a few times when like the level would be pretty difficult. Like you could tell it was probably the last obstacle before the end of the level, and it's like, I died there, and I got to do the whole level over again. Yeah. But for the most part, the levels are enjoyable. I mean, like I said, it sort of becomes easy because that one ability to just sort of continue chaining is sort of simple at times, you know, because there are a lot of enemies, and just hitting the one button and sort of pointing in the right direction will have you go over there. So it's not the most difficult game, but it is fun. But what's cool is there were a lot more levels than I was anticipating.
Yeah, like I didn't know what to expect, you know, with this.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's a bunch.
Like you said, I think $3.99 or whatever it is. So it is a budget title. So I was sort of anticipating that, like, oh, okay, go through a couple of these levels and then it's over. But I believe there's actually 5 worlds with 4 levels in each, and the last I think ends with a boss. I don't know if that's the 4th level or if that's like an extra little part on each one. But the bosses are actually
the 4th level.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought too. So it would be 3 levels and then a boss in 5.
Yeah, there's
worlds.
actual like, you know, facing a boss on the screen like Mega Man style, you know, like, and then they each have their own hook. And I was playing this at work, and Aaron was watching me. And do you know the ghost boss? Mm-hmm. Like I think it's the second one, or maybe the third one.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about.
Just this happy little ghost just walking around, and Aaron's like, so you're just attacking this perfectly harmless ghost for no reason? Like the ghost is smiling, like just a big grin on his face.
Can you please stop hitting me?
You're just striking him like
you damn
a
ninja.
million times. He's like, stop it, go away. Like he's throwing like forks at you, like stop it, and he's smiling like. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious, but.
Yeah, no, that is funny. But the bosses are fun. They're not super challenging. They all, you know, starting from the first to the end, they all get progressively a little more complicated.
I mean, I'd say build your own challenge here. I mean, like, because if you're going for 3 stars, this game's hard. Super hard.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's obtainable, but super hard.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've done levels where I'm like, man, I did that very well, and I've only gotten 2 stars. So it's like, like you said, if you're going for full-on 3 stars, everything, you'll be playing this for quite some time because you're going to probably replay a bunch of levels a lot. But, I mean, I played through the entirety of the game with that first ninja, I guess, your basic character, quote-unquote. And then I'm on my second playthrough towards the end with that grappling hook guy.
Oh, okay.
And it's fun. I mean, like I said, to get through all the levels, you know, I don't have an exact time, but it took over an hour.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I do have a complaint.
Yeah. What's
the
that?
only complaint is the frame rate can be, like, low and choppy a little.
When it's...
Like...
when you're racking up all those, so essentially when you get into those the barrels, quote unquote, I said that sort of automatically shoot you. Often they're accompanied by a lot of coins. So when you're collecting all these coins, you're seeing all of your scores come up.
Yeah,
and when the combos are racking,
ridiculous.
So there's just a ton of numbers and stuff, visual stuff going on the screen that it does slow down a little bit, but not so bad because you're not really doing anything. You know, because you're sort of along the ride. Kind of,
because sometimes you have those really long combos where you're going through those barrels, or like we're saying, like the automatic things, and you have to time it just at the end so that you don't land on the ground, because it'll like throw you towards the ground. And like I found a couple times playing that, like, because the frame rate was like a little inconsistent during those times, that I couldn't judge that as well as I could other. But I feel like, man, if this game was 60 frames a second, it would do wonders for the game. I think it would make it, because it kind of hinders the experience a little bit, in my opinion. But, I mean, otherwise, I mean, think about it. And I'm not trying to sell the game for people here, but it's just like, it is kind of amazing because, you know, it's a fun combo mechanic. The bosses are fun. There's 4 different playable characters that have different, like, that literally do different things, you know? And it's $4. I mean, like, I think it's a pretty good game actually. So
That's it for me. Is that it's got that price point that anyone can jump in and try it, and while it's not going to last you for oh, you're not going to play this for 10 hours extensively. It's fun to get in there on small bits, and like you said, I'm having fun even having played through all the levels and going back with the other characters. Like, it's still enjoyable.
yeah,
Like I said, it's in a good space in the sense of the price point with what it has to offer and the fun factor. I feel like it all sort of melds together to put together a pretty nice little package.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and my review, by the time this episode's up, my review should be up if you do want to see a little bit more on what I have to think about it.
Are you doing a video review?
I don't know. Maybe. I probably should.
I'm asking you on the spot while we're recording.
Well, check out Nintendo World Report TV to find out the answer. Woo!
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, that'll do it for what we've been playing. Phew!
Nice plug there. That was perfect tee up for the plug, Perry.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Man, yeah.
Now, the only thing that can outdo all those games we just talked about is the bajillion games we got to talk about on the eShop Roundup.
Well, let's take a break because I need to catch my breath before I get my whip and my rope.
You're a pervert.
I'm not a pervert. to round up the new games. So I'll see you in a little bit.
Alrighty, we are back and we've got a doozy. Another 20 games to talk about.
The eShop Roundup. Yeehaw.
I yearn for the days of the Wii U and 3DS and Switch, and there were like 9 games total between the three.
Well, you know what I say about a lot of games on the eShop Roundup?
Yeehaw!
I say giddy up. So let's go.
Let's do it.
The first game we have is Deep Ones for $4.99, and this is a very funky looking game.
Retro arcade platformer.
Yeah, and actually, I kind of dig the look a little because it kind of reminds me of those old neon-looking games. Like I like Rare. I have the Rare Replay, and they have old games that look like this.
Yeah, it's very, very cool colors. The one screenshot is like a submarine, and then it's got like these neon fish in the background, right? And the fish sort of remind me of Majora's Mask when you fall into the hole, and then you that sort of trippy color. You know what I mean? It's sort of like that color scheme. I feel like. Yeah, it looks sort of cool. Actually.
I mean, it does look cool. I've heard bad things. Like on NVC, they said to not get this game, but I don't know. I think it looks pretty cool.
Well, what do they know?
$5. But there's a demo, so you can download the demo.
Perfect.
So.
Next up here, we've got a game you talked about a little bit last week.
Oh, baby.
And that is Bomb Slinger.
Yeah, Bomb Slinger.
For $11.99. That's a good price, I feel like.
Such a good price, yeah. Oh, yeah. Great game.
Because I sort of expect... I feel like usually you get that $7.99, then it sort of jumps up to the $14.99. And
yeah,
I feel like Bomb Slinger would have been in that $14.99 category. And hey, if it's a little cheaper, nothing wrong with that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is one of my favorite games this year. Please get it. I was thinking, and this might be a good thing for a good game for what we're going to announce at the end of the show. Yeah. Ooh,
but
the mystery.
Moving along here, we got Zotrix Solar Division. Now, this game right here is, I guess, a strategy game, right? I don't really know. I'm looking at the screenshots here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess...
yeah, they're saying it is a strategy simulation game.
Yeah. Wow, it looks kind of complicated.
Yeah, you got menus all over the joint.
And paths. Lots of paths.
There's nothing wrong with a path.
No, there's nothing wrong with the path. But,
unless if it goes straight to the Coca-Cola store, then you want to avoid that path at all costs.
You told me that you don't mind drinking Coca-Cola with a meal.
Yeah, if you're gonna force me.
If you're gonna, oh, come on, Casey. The jig is up. The jig is up.
Well, like a fountain soda, fountain Coke works.
Oh yeah. I was at this. Jill and I were eating this delicious gyro place, and all they had was Pepsi, and I got some Diet Pepsi. And
I'll have a water.
Jill was like, "You want me to take a picture of you pouring Pepsi?" And I'm like, "Don't you dare." To send to Casey.
I'm disappointed in her.
To be honest, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, actually, it might have happened at that Mexican restaurant we ate at. But, like, if it's Pepsi products, I really do get water at
Papagayo.
restaurants. Yeah. Yep.
That was good, man.
That was good. Yeah.
Speaking of a week, we've got one right here, don't we?
Yes, and this is a puzzle game. This is a Neo Geo puzzle game, which those are few and far between. Guru Rin, for of course the $7.99. Again, it's a very, very. Oh my goodness!
I love the screenshots.
Yeah, is there naked women in the back of those screenshots? There
near
is.
naked. I think she might be made out of stone, though. So I think you can be naked if you're stone.
That's true. That's true.
I like the little one that you made it. I am the final enemy. Come on now, with coins, all you have.
Look, he's telling you to put money in. That's great.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
It does. It looks cool. So
I wonder. Yeah, it looks like maybe some sort of match puzzle game of some sort, but looks like you're rotating as well, and looks like pretty crazy. Yeah, spin left, spin right, spin, 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 spin the square magic troop. Gain victory by getting luck on your side.
Just mind the pornography.
Yeah. Rated X.
Next up, we have Drone Fight.
Woo!
For $4.99. And this is it looks like a Star Fox game. It does. It looks like a Star Fox game. It actually looks kind of cool, but with drones.
Oh, did this game or something similar to this come out for the Wii U?
It probably did.
Because I feel like
3D air race game.
Like looking at the screenshots, I feel like we've talked about this game before or something similar. Look at that! It came out for the 3DS.
I was gonna say I remember it, but like, was this the game that like the screenshots were so bad?
Oh yeah, they're god awful.
It didn't even
miserable.
show.
Yep, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, terrible.
This is the game.
Yep.
Well, the screenshots are better on the Switch. So
yeah, it looks better. It looks
like
Switch.
Looks like an enhanced it looks like a Nintendo 64 game in like HD.
Yeah,
the game looks like.
It looks like something, that's for sure.
It doesn't look. I mean, $4.99. Whatever. But next up for $9.99, we have #BreakForcist Battle. I don't know if hashtag is in the title, but they have that sign in front of it.
I see it here.
Yeah,
maybe it's sharp. Right? Tokyo Mirage.
Yeah, maybe,
sharp
I know exactly. Or number, or sharp, or hashtag. I love the slogan. Only you and 3 of your friends can save breakfast from evil.
I like the colors.
Breakfast. I was watching Justin's the Nindy Spotlight. I was watching a playthrough. Or no. Maybe I was. I think I asked him about it. But I was watching a playthrough of this, and like at the end, it's like this, breakout like Tetris type game, and at the end of it, it's like it says like exorcised, like you exorcised a demon out of, and it's like, what the heck is going on here? Like
some intern snuck in.
The main, the characters, like you can be this dog in a pickle or in a cucumber, and like it's weird. Anyway, it looks funny.
That is so funny. This next game looks a little funny
makers, too. Real quick, the makers are Lucid Sheep Games. Lucid Sheep, that's what it looks like. Anyway, yes, this next game looks funny.
Yes, Burly Men at the Sea for $9.99.
Nope, Burly Men at Sea, not the sea.
Pardon me?
Because you're not. Well, I mean, the term is at sea. It's not. I'm not at the sea. That's different than when I'm at sea.
Well, sometimes you just need to go down to the sea.
I'm at the sea.
I am
see?
the sea.
That's interesting because, like, when I say at the sea, that sounds like you're like on the beach, you know, when you're at the sea. But if you're at sea,
You're out
I
in
feel
the
like
middle
you're
of it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Now this game is like it's an adventure game, I think, right? With like
Yeah.
puzzly stuff.
I think, yeah, yep. It's the first genre is other.
We don't
funny.
even know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. It looks sort of cool. I appreciate that in like every screenshot they have, you just see the three burly men.
it really looks like an artistic like picture book, like, you know, you know what I mean? Like not like a children's-y book. Well, maybe like a children's book, but not like with children's art. I don't know. Yeah, it looks cool. Guillaume reviewed it on the website at Nintendo World Report. So check out his review if you're interested. But next up, we have another game that's it's very interesting actually from Circle. Shelter Generations for $17.99, which is an interesting price. And this is
The art
I
style
don't
is
know if my
bonkers.
eyes are just. Yeah, what is
So
this game?
I tell you what, like looking at the screenshots, at first it's like overwhelming because everything is so like texturalized,
Yeah,
but
it's
like
cool.
including the ground, like so. Like the one screenshot, it looks like you're sort of by the water, and then you see some grass, but it's so a lot going on. I think like when you see the snow screenshot, it looks much better because there's like the ground texture is a little less like busy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks really cool. I don't even know. Let's see, adventure game. In Shelter Generations, you embark upon unique journeys in the wild that present varied challenges and familiar love.
I tell you what, this game looks pretty cool from the trailer. Like, just interesting, you know?
Yeah,
So, yeah.
very cool.
That's not what I'd expect from Circle. From, like, their pixely little games. This is like a 3D...
Circle bringing
cool
out the big
artistic game,
guns.
so, yeah. Now, speaking of Kemco, we have As Divine Hearts for $12.99. It's an RPG. It's a Kemco RPG, and that's probably all you need to know, because that's all they do. Yeah,
It looks like a
did this
very.
come out for Wii U?
I don't know offhand.
It looks like it. Man, it just looks
Well,
like all those.
Well, that's what I was
Remember
gonna
those
say.
weird RPGs coming out on the Wii U? They probably still are coming out.
Well, yeah, it looks like it came out for the Wii U.
Okay.
I was gonna say it sort of has a very generic look to it, so even if it
Super
didn't come
generic,
out
yeah.
on the Wii U, there'd probably be a good chance something sort of similar did. Yeah, it came out
Right.
in April of 2016, so 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Came
so
out
that
for
was,
the Wii U.
That was pre-podcast, right?
Yeah, that would have been
think.
a couple months before.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks sort
Whatever,
of like
yeah.
a very sort of generic RPG, but
we could
be good.
Probably
I don't know.
move on.
I don't know. Do we want to talk about it a little bit longer?
No, not really.
Next up,
This
we've
next
got
game looks interesting though.
the
from
weirdest
Curve.
Jimmy Price of all time. But before we
I
get
know.
to that, we're going to get to the name, and that is Rogue Aces for $10.40.
And 40 cents.
Alrighty.
1040? Wait, 1040. Like in the military. 1040. Isn't that a thing?
No, I think you're probably thinking of 10-4. Like that's
I'm
a
thinking of
10-4.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This
Alright.
game, I guess it looks like a side-scrolling shoot 'em up, or something to
I don't
the.
think so. I don't think it looks more. It's a arcade action shooter. I guess it kind of some of the screens like remind me of like looks like turn based, but it's not.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Looks a little interesting.
Okay. Yep.
They've got me intrigued with that $10.40 price.
And not in a good way. Here's another Jimmy Price. The next one.
What are they thinking? Eternal Edge at an even, crisp $20 bill.
A Hamilton
Just $19.99 for
or
Pete's sake.
Harrison.
Don't ask me these tough questions.
Who's on the these tough questions? Who's on our currency?
Some dead guy.
Oh, Casey.
It's true.
Yes. Yeah, this game looks kind of cool.
Yeah, it's an adventure RPG game.
Yeah, voxely graphics.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Even the
know.
grass is sort of got
Dude,
like
this
that.
looks like Minecraft cross Xenoblade.
Yes, yeah, totally. That's so funny.
It really does. Yeah.
Begin your
Actually,
journey.
it kind of looks cool. I believe John Reardon is reviewing this or has reviewed it. So, look forward to that or check that out. I don't know.
So that might be something or that might be nothing.
Well, I know he's working on it, so I think.
Oh,
But speaking of
I
things,
know he's working on that. I think.
someone is. I know someone is. That's for sure.
Do you, or are you just guessing?
Yeah. 95% sure. Okay, next up we have Word Search by Powgi. Powgi. So this is exactly what you think it is. It's a word search game. And there's a demo. If you don't know what word searches are, you can download the demo.
You
And it's
just go buy a
$7.99.
newspaper. Gosh dang it!
Yep.
Now,
next game.
yeah, this game, friend of the show David Lloyd is reviewing, and I know at first it didn't seem like he was fully on board, but quickly turned that thought process around. He's really enjoying it, and that is
He said the load times were bad, but other than that, he said he really likes it.
what do we got? Regala of Men and Monarchs Royal Edition for $24.99.
Yep.
Now this is a strategy RPG, right?
Strategy, yep. Remember when we talked about all those strategy RPGs?
Yeah, it's got like a sort of an interesting art style. I sort of like it though.
Wait, didn't we talk about strategy RPGs with David? That's when he was on.
Maybe.
I think we did. Yeah, that's weird. Anyway.
But yeah,
That's a
no,
fun
he
dink.
seems to really be enjoying it.
Yeah.
Are you going to be playing this? Maybe potentially.
I don't know. Potentially. Yeah, I don't know.
Make your debut
So-
over on the Thirsty Mage.
Mm-hmm.
About time,
Now-
you big Jimmy.
Seriously. This next game is intriguing to me, and that's Skies of Fury DX for $19.99. I
Yes.
think I've heard really good. I think I've heard good things about this game from Justin. I think he.
Yeah,
I read
'cause
the review on this.
I remember the review code came over when we were at PAX, and yeah, it was one of those games I looked at, and I was like, this game actually looks pretty cool, but there's just way too many things going on right now to want to be grabbing
Right.
a review game. But yeah, no, I think it looks really cool. It's sort of like a dog fighting
Cell
game.
shaded. Yeah, it's like a cell shaded dog fighting game. So
But yeah, the cell shading looks really, really nice.
yeah, it looks cool.
Because you got like really cool sunsets and stuff in the background. Yeah, this game looks really cool.
Yeah. So that's $19.99 if you like, Star Fox or dog fighting games. Check it out. Now, next up we have, for the Jamie price of $7.19, Streets of Red Devil's Dare Deluxe.
What were they thinking?
Now look at this game.
$7.19.
I mean, hold on. That's probably a discount, right? I'm sure it's a discount.
I don't know. It doesn't say anything about a discount.
It doesn't say anything, but they might. It still might be.
Just
more.
when you thought
Now-
$10.40 was the strangest price you could ever see.
$7.
Like 5 games later.
I don't know. $7.19 screams percentage off price.
Screams Jimmy to me.
All right,
But anyway,
Jimmy.
now this is a roguelike, right?
Is it? It looks cool.
Is it? I don't know. I've seen some people talk about it, but like not like I haven't read in enough to actually see what the game is exactly. Arcade fighting.
Yeah, it's a roguelike because it says designed to be played over and over again. Each
Yeah.
run offering up the potential for new content. 6 unique playable characters, and the game is cool. It's cool pixel art.
Sort of gives me like
Lots of blood.
a Binding of Isaac vibe.
Yeah.
A little
So, I don't
different
know,
because
this game
you're
looks
not.
pretty
yeah.
cool.
And it's multiplayer.
I see a knight with a shovel.
Shovel Knight?
Yeah. No, it's not him, but it's a guy dressed up in knight gear and a shovel.
Weird.
So anyway, that's
Next
Streets
up
of
here,
Red.
we've got
Yeah.
Don't Starve Nintendo Switch Edition for $19.99. Another roguelike. Is this a game
one
you've
of the
played?
first I ever played. I did play this, and I didn't play for that long. And I didn't really like it too much. I liked a lot of things about it. You know, the art style is really cool. The concept is kind of cool. But I just never got into it. And boy, my cousin is super into it. Like, and it might be different now. Now that I've kind of played roguelikes and I kind of understand the appeal a little bit. You know, like maybe on a sale I'll get this game.
Yeah, that was, for me, I played it on, it was a PS Plus game 1 month, and that's when I still had PS Plus, so I tried it, and yeah, it was cool. It probably was one of the earlier roguelikes I've ever played, but it just, to me, to sit down on my PS4 and play that game wasn't exactly what I was looking for.
Well, I mean,
on the Switch, I
yeah.
feel like being able to, like, at work, I could just do a quick run, you know, on break or whatever. I would definitely,
not
like
that
you said,
quick, but
well, yeah, you know what I mean. Like, my lunch
Yeah.
break could be a run, or 2, depending on how bad you do. But, yeah, I'm definitely not going to buy it for $19.99.
No.
It might be one of those if it drops on sale.
That's more expensive than it was when it came out, I'm pretty sure, on the Wii U. And they gave you 2 copies, I think.
I don't know, I got it
Anyway,
for free on PlayStation.
Yeah. I just remember playing it, and I played like for an hour and a half and then I got struck by lightning. Randomly. I was just like, what?
I
You know?
hate this game.
Well, it's just kind of like a, man.
I
that's
know,
just,
it's...
like that's not fun. You know, that's just like weird randomness, and I'm sure there's something to it, but I thought that was kind of stupid, so.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I like you said, with my newfound appreciation of the roguelike, I would definitely love to give it another chance, but maybe definitely a Villa de Discount game.
But the sea is calling, Casey.
It sure is.
So pick a ship, bring friends, and sail on.
All aboard!
In Pirates, all aboard for $5.99.
Finally,
Now-
someone knows how to price their games.
Yeah, that's right. Seriously. This is an action fighting party multiplayer game. And you play as pirates on a ship, and it looks kind of... I think you're just going around and shooting people on the ships and stuff. That's what it kind of looks like. It looks like that game that we played at the USS Constitution.
Oh my... That's so funny. My ship wouldn't steer.
Yeah, yeah. You got the gym ship.
Yep. But what's cool is
You got the USS Gymstitution.
the Gymstitution. If you do own Astro Bears Party or Robonauts, you get 50% off this game.
Yeah, so it'd be
So-
$3.
That's a nice little
That's
cross
cool.
promotion there.
Dude, that's a great idea for publishers and developers. You know, like it
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of like
big time.
puts them all in a club. You know, it's like
The
yeah, I
boys
love that
club.
idea. The what?
Whoa. I said the boys club.
Oh, the boys club. Yeah.
Next
now, we
up
have
here,
3 more.
This next game was a bit of a surprise too, and that
Yeah.
is Football Manager Touch 2018.
Oh, I think we need to localize that name.
Yes.
Soccer Manager Touch.
Yeah. Football.
2018.
I don't see any helmets or pigskins. This is $39.99. Now, I have not played this
man.
game. I know JP on staff was super stoked about this. He's a big
Yep.
soccer man.
And he's reviewing it now, I believe.
Yeah, apparently, don't be deceived by the touch name. It is apparently a very robust experience. It's a very deep
Yeah.
simulator. So, you know, that's cool.
I tell you what, I I could not be less interested. I could not be less interested in this game. No offense to the game.
No, yeah. I think it would be interesting if they did like a football, like Madden, but it was really focused on like the building of the team and stuff. Like I know you can do those modes in Madden, but like where it was more like this, I guess, would be interesting.
Yeah, well, they've had that, right? Isn't there a game like Coach or something like
well,
that?
yeah, they have. Yeah, they definitely have. Different. Like you could be the GM or you could be the owner, and like with.
Well, I mean, like there's literally a game called like the NFL Coach or something, right? You've heard of that, right?
No.
I'm pretty sure it's an EA game, like along like with Madden and I think something
NFL
like that.
head coach for.
Is that what it is?
It came out in 2006, and it looks like that was the only one.
Yeah. Well,
NFL
you tried,
Coach
Jim.
is a
You
National
tried.
League video game that was released in 2006 for PS2, Xbox, and PC. The game allows the player to control the NFL team and become the greatest coach in NFL history.
That's you.
I wish. That'd be great.
So yeah, this Football Manager Touch 2018. It's $39.99. So it's not. It does seem like a full on game experience. Not so yeah. I'd say Touch is kind of a weird thing, but hopefully, wouldn't it be funny if you couldn't use the touch screen?
Oh my god. But yeah, because I remember there was somebody had aired out some concern. It might have actually been David who was like, "Yeah, I don't know if like $40 seems steep, And then I think that's when JP was like, "Yeah, but this game's like, it's legit, like it is.
Yeah.
It is a very deep experience." So, yeah,
Sega, from Sega,
and that was one of those ones where it was like, "Hey, it's out."
Yep, weird.
It's also weird.
Yeah.
This next game, and it's actually jumping the gun from your list here, but it's spring again for $1.99.
See, here's the thing. So, are you looking on the Switch?
Yep.
Okay, dude. When I wrote this, when I typed it in here like 3 hours ago, they were switched.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why it changed, but yeah.
Whatever you gotta say, Jimmy.
Next up, we have It's Spring Again for $1.99.
It's an educational.
It's an educational game for children.
I tell you what, it looks like. I love how it looks. It looks like really cool.
Yeah, it looks. It has like cool children's art. And it looks like teaching about seasons.
Are you gonna pick this one up?
'Cause I see like fall. Maybe if I had a 2-year-old and up.
Well, you'd finally be able to beat a game.
I what?
Finally be able to win a match.
Not if I played you.
Yeah, I'd be like, dang it, I lost to that caterpillar thing.
Seriously, I would. If the caterpillar was you, I would lose. But yeah, I know that we have a review coming up on the site for this game. So
fantastic.
That might be an interesting review to read.
Now that brings us to our last game, doesn't it, Perry? Number 20.
Yes. Number 20. It's Wild Guns Reloaded. Which, have you seen this game before?
No. I mean, I'm looking at screens now, but
first time I've heard of this game, and I know it's like an old Super Nintendo game or something. It's one of those old games, but it's redone, and this game looks really cool. And I watched Neil's video review on Nintendo World Report TV on YouTube, and it looks great. It's like this kind of like a twin stick shooter, almost like it's what it looks like, because it looks like you control like movement with left and right, and then you shoot with the right analog stick. That's what it looks like. I'm not 100% certain.
Yeah.
But the bosses look really cool. Look at the backgrounds. They look so cool. Big, huge tank. Big, like the Wild West theme, like meets like futuristic, and I don't know. I think it actually looks pretty cool. Way cooler than I thought. $29.99.
Yeah, a little steep.
I
wonder if you could buy that one physically.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen the physical box art for it, but I don't know if games just do that for fun. But
shootout at high noon.
That might be a good physical. But yeah. Anyway, do you have anything else to say about Wild Guns Reloaded?
I sure don't.
Good. So that'll do it for the eShop Roundup, and now it is time. I think. I gotta scroll down the thing. Yes, now it is time for
News Talk with Casey Gibson.
Ooh-wee. Yes, sirree, Bob. Now, again here, I'd say, number-wise, not too bad. But it's definitely pretty hardy, and it's going to start out with a heavy hitter right off the bat here, and it is going to be some news that I'm sure most people have heard of by now, but it's going to be some sad faces there.
Well, I'm going to preemptively say that I'm completely fine with this news.
I'll get to my feelings in a second.
Okay.
The news itself is that Dark Souls has been delayed. A tweet by I think it was by was it Nintendo UK or one of the UK Twitter handles. So at first I was like, is it just in the UK? But it appears to be in general.
It should be hilarious.
Yeah, it would be like, sucks for them.
Not only not the game, but even the amiibo.
Well, yeah, I guess
which makes sense.
But you go
in
by
one sense it doesn't make sense, but then in another sense it makes complete sense.
Well, maybe that's sense. Why the game was delayed, because of there weren't enough amiibo ready.
Right. That would be funny.
But yeah, now, so like, Dark Souls delayed until summer, like you said, along with the amiibo. Yeah, like
that could be June
or September, technically.
Or it could be September. So that's
big news. We're so close to from what the it was, I think, May 25th, so it was just a little bit over a month, until it was supposed to be launching.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy, but yeah, I'm still like, I'm definitely getting this game, like for sure getting it. Like I am 100% gonna be especially they priced it perfect, right? $40, be $32 on Amazon, Best Buy, like heck yeah, physical, boom. Still have never played it, but I'm hearing it runs. I mean, from what I saw at PAX, people are saying that this runs just as good as any other version, if not better. So,
well, that's why
really
it was
cool.
A little surprising, because I did, although very minimally, get to play it at PAX, and the area I was in ran well. No stutter or no weird graphical glitches or anything. Everything looks, honky dory. And
you're like, what do I care? What do I care? I've already played this game.
Yeah.
Remember when we were sitting there with Jill, and the Nintendo rep was like, "Hey, would you like to play Dark Souls?" Well, Jill, nah.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, literally thousands of people would kill to be in your position, and you're sitting there like,
nah.
I think I'll take a nap. But yeah,
you know what though? Jill playing Dark Souls might be the best thing ever. If I would, that might just have to happen.
You got to get her into it. You can make a video series.
But yeah, just imagine if that gameplay was uploaded to YouTube. Anyway,
nothing worse would be said about it than what's not been said about ours. But
that's true.
But yeah, for me, it's one of those. I'm upset because I definitely am ready to finally get into Dark Souls, but it's not. I wasn't foaming at the bit. Where a delay sucks, but it's not the end of the world. There's you've got Donkey Kong coming out soon. You've got Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey.
Dude, I'm
dust
stoked
off
for
the
DK,
old
man.
DS. So there are games to be played. So I'll survive. But
Dude,
now
I'm so stoked for DK.
This next news right here, I'm gonna let you take this because I think you are probably gonna be very happy about this.
Well, funnily enough, I mentioned
earlier today. I thought that was funny,
which is weird, but the producer teases a series revival for Switch. Now, that's might be pushing it for teases a series revival, maybe. But
we got a quote from the man himself.
Takahashi, who's one of the big guys at Nintendo, he says that you may see that game again. We have been trying to make many games, and that may be one of them. And he also goes on to say, I personally love Wave Race, with an exclamation point at the end there. So, heck yeah. That'd be talked about this before with Danny and Nick when they were on, when we were doing predictions, because Danny predicted 1080, and 1080 and Wave Race, I always put them together, right?
Yeah, they're sort of
developer. Remember that there's going to be the Blue Storm and White Storm.
Yep.
But they changed it to Avalanche. Anyway, Extreme Sports. Extreme sports games in 2018, is very interesting. Like Steep.
I'm still waiting for Steep.
still waiting for Steep, So I wonder how it would there is the Riptide GP Legends, which I saw that Riptide 2 was I got an Amazon Fire TV stick, and you can get games on that thing. Like Elliot Quest.
Elliot
You
Quest
can get
on
Elliot
everything.
Quest on Amazon Fire TV. Anyway, I saw Riptide on there, which is funny. Also, but if anyone's looking for a streaming device that's cheap and reliable and fast and nice, I recommend the Amazon Fire TV stick. It's really cool, and it comes with we got it for $30 off Amazon. Comes with a mic remote. You can just say open Netflix on the remote.
This ain't no
Or
infomercial, dang it.
Or watch. Yeah, we're really shilling the goods today, aren't we?
This is the news block. I will not be
This episode
compromised. Yeah. Brought to
This
you by
episode has been
Amazon
brought to
Fire
you by
Stick and
Amazon
Pepsi
Fire.
Cola.
By the way, if we were sponsored by either Pepsi or Amazon, wouldn't that be so funny?
Yeah, because you hate Pepsi and I hate Amazon.
Oh, that's true. I didn't even think about that.
I'm done with those dogs.
I don't hate
But
Pepsi.
I'll
I just
happily-
like Coke much better.
I'll happily sell their wares if they want to pay us.
And you'll happily use my Amazon account whenever you need it.
Yep, yeah.
It's like your old thing with Netflix. I hate you, Netflix, although I use you every day.
I use you every day, but I won't pay you for it.
Yep.
You put the king on. I tell you, the second they put the king on, even though I already have, it's my sister's Netflix, I will personally subscribe again. I will do it.
I know I would too, because
it's
Netflix
just worth
is a fantastic streaming service. It's the best actually.
to be able to have the entire
quality.
King of the Hill library at my fingertips for what's I don't even know what Netflix is nowadays. It's probably like $9.99, right?
I think it's $8.99 or $9.99.
Yep, I'll do it.
Yeah,
But
moving
along.
I personally do have that on my fingertips already.
Yeah, you dog. But anyway,
moving
along
speaking of Wave Race, yes, I'd be super excited for Wave Race.
yeah, that'd be cool. And
Interested to see what that would be though.
I wonder if it would be
Let's
like
move
a
on.
$40 game,
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
But yeah, moving along
I
here.
don't know.
Octopath Traveler. Nintendo released a video introducing 2 new characters of the 8 heroes, and it's sort of funny. I actually
Dude, this game looks so good.
oh, I know. I can't
It just
It's one of those
looks like
games
so good.
that I'm super stoked for it, but I'm not getting too deep into the letting the hype build up just yet. But I am super stoked. I feel like it'll be one of those ones oh crap, it comes out in 2 weeks. I can't wait. But oh my god, what's cool is they've now announced, I guess, 6 of the 8 character names, right? And if you look at the names, they all one starts with an O, one starts with a T, one starts with a P, A, T, H. So I think
Octopath.
so. It looks like it's gonna if you
Yep.
take the first letter of each character, it's gonna spell
Did
out
you
Octopath.
figure that out?
No, I saw it in a comment. I'm a
I
cheater.
was like, you can't be smart enough to figure that out.
Yep, Jimmy's dumb. But it looks like the next 2 characters would probably start with a C and an O.
So it's gonna be Chad and Octavio.
Cecil and Octavio.
Okay, Cecil and Octavio. Well played, Octavio.
Yes. But yeah, that's
Texas versus Nebraska. Dang it, Dale, you bought fake tickets. That's impossible. Well played, Octavio.
But yeah, Octopath, it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait for that game. But
Yeah, man.
now we've got a few games here, a little announcement block, if you will, within the news
All
block.
right, yeah,
That's always the best, right?
that's right.
Although,
Yeah, let's do this quick fire.
all right, boom, you hit us off with the big heavy hitter first.
All right. Oh, this is the heavy hitter. But NBA Playgrounds 2 is coming later this year. Yeah, now I just here's my quick take on this. The license the NBA license is very powerful. And this is the only NBA game really besides 2K on the Switch. So, for instance, I like on Craigslist, I've seen like people who are selling their Switches and they have Zelda and they have NBA Playgrounds. So it's like, that's crazy, right?
I think people want that jam. They want NBA Jam.
Yeah.
But I don't think Playgrounds.
So I've heard a lot
of
people that. Well, yeah, but I've heard a lot of people like reviewers and saying they have a chance to make it way better. So I hope they do that. I really hope they do.
Yeah, like you said, maybe they could build off and see where they went wrong with the first one and sort of push forward.
Yeah.
But
now this next game is intriguing to me,
and that is Valkyrie Chronicles. The very first one has been announced for the Switch. Now, I believe it was only announced right now for
is that how you pronounce
a
that?
Japanese Valkyrie, maybe. It's probably I think it's Valkyria. Maybe Valkyria? What did I say? Valkyria?
I don't know.
Valkyria Chronicles.
Valkyrie?
It's probably Valkyria Chronicles.
Anyway,
but yeah,
I think I've always heard Valkyria Chronicles.
I've heard a lot of really good things about this game.
This is another strategy RPG, right?
Yep. And I believe I've heard
a lot like Codename Steam.
Yeah, I think the fourth one is it was announced for Switch too. So, and that's not out yet at all. I don't.
Okay.
Or maybe let's see. It came out in Japan for the PS4 already.
Is this a Western release, or is this just announced for?
I believe
Japanese
right now
it's
been announced for a Japanese release, but I'm pretty sure that it'll most likely come over. Because it has a presence in the Western market, the series. So I would find it, sort of hard to believe that they wouldn't bring it over. But yeah, for now, I don't think it's officially announced for a Western release. But this next game is, and that is Figment, which looks really cool.
Looks sweet.
This is from the same developers that brought us Back to Bed. A fun little puzzle game. I know it came out on Steam. It came out on Wii U. And I reviewed it, and it was a cool game, just not very challenging. So I'm excited to see what Figment's all about. It just looks gorgeous. You know what I want to do for the
listeners? This will help them paint a picture. I want to play that audio that I have from this game of like when you come up to this really angry guy, and it's really funny. So here, I'm going to play that right now.
Hey, visitors! How delightfully inconvenient! I'm the plague of fear of disease! I come with waff and rotten teeth! These isles are mine, thou shalt not pass! I bid you farewell with this wall of gas!
So yeah, we talked about this game with Justin Nation the first time he was on. And he was telling us about the demo that he played through. And so, yeah, this game, I can't wait. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it just looks beautiful. And while the first game, like I said, it wasn't super duper challenging, I still had a nice time going through it. So I'm definitely...
First review, right? Wasn't that your first review for the site? Back to Bed.
No, I don't think it was my first one, but it was like within the first couple. My first one was Forma 8.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Pretty darn sure.
I think the first one was Back to Bed.
Well,
I'm pretty sure because I remember you had bought it yourself. And it was like your first one. I'm pretty sure it's your first review game.
I don't know. We'll have to look through the records, but we'll save that for another time. But yeah, regardless, game looks cool, and it's coming out May 31st, so just over a month away. Not too far.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll play that now instead of Dark Souls.
Yeah.
They're basically the same game.
Yeah. Thank God. That Dark Souls game looked like crap anyway.
By basically same, I mean the almost polar opposite. But yes. But this next announcement, I don't know what to think about it.
I like it.
Sega Ages, which, by the way, fantastic name.
Yeah, it's great.
Because Sega backwards is ages. So that's a great name. Did you realize that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's...
Sure you did.
Yep. Shut up, you yim.
No.
At first it was a little confusing because the stream was, I believe, at least for me, it was like 9:30 Friday night was when it was. It was, I guess, which would be like Saturday sometime during the day in Japan. But at first I thought it was like a collection, right? So it was like Sega Ages is coming, and they showed off Alex Kidd in Miracle World, Ground Game.
I'm interested in that.
Sonic the Hedgehog, Thunder Force 4, and Phantasy Star. So it's like, that's sort of a weird collection of 5 games. But then it came out that it's actually going to be much more like arcade archives, or essentially a virtual console.
Yeah, so this isn't a physical, is it?
No,
collection?
they're like individual releases.
It might. I wouldn't be surprised if it did come physical, right? I mean, in the future, I wouldn't be surprised by a collection.
Well, were you listening? I like, these are going to be separate releases. Like, you're not buying Sonic Ages and getting these 5 games. It's like,
I know, Casey, I know.
Okay,
but
so I
saying
don't think it would be physical
in the future. Well, they did that with the Sega. They did the exact same thing with the Sega 3D Classics from the same developer.
Did they?
Yeah, they released them separately, and then they put a collection together.
Well, that would be cool, I guess. Yeah, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yep, you can buy the thing. They did 2. They had 2 volumes physically on the 3DS.
Interesting.
Of those games.
A good way to double
3
dip.
even in Japan. So, yeah. No, I mean, like, that's interesting to me. Like, Alex Kidd, I've never played any of those games. So, and that's a platformer. So
It looks cool, though.
I'm a sucker for platformers.
I like the look of it.
Yeah. I know Nicholas Bray is a huge fan of Sega.
He's an Alex Kidd.
And Alex Kidd. He is an Alex Kidd. Nicholas Kidd.
That's so funny. But yeah, no, that would be one I would purchase. Like, I don't think, like, obviously I'm not going to get Sonic. Like, Phantasy Star would be cool, I feel like...
I actually might get Sonic. Because of Jill. Because Jill, she grew up on Sonic. Don't boo me.
Poor girl, man. Grew up on Sonic.
Yeah. Sonic wasn't bad, dude. Back in the day. We didn't know it was bad.
But, yeah, out of those 5 games,
Right?
I think Alex the Kid would be one I would actually probably buy. The other ones, like I said, like, Phantasy Star would be cool because I know, like, Phantasy Star Online, is big, but, like, do I really want to go back and play a Sega RPG from the 90s, you know?
Dude, Phantasy Star, I think 4, Phantasy Star 4, that was the one lone Sega Genesis game that was in that huge box of Famicom games.
How'd you get in here, you dirty dog?
So yeah, so I can play that game on my Retron if I want.
But I'm assuming you don't want
Spoilers, to. I don't wanna.
I was gonna say.
Anyway, yeah, that's really cool. I'm anything virtual console like I'm fine with. And for goodness sake, Nintendo, what the heck are you doing?
I was gonna say, it's funny, Sega's beating them to the punch.
I can't believe it. I mean, Namco Museum, you know, the Arcade Archives, the Neo Geo, the Sega. It's like, come on, Nintendo. Put your dang NES games on there at least.
Yeah.
You know? Like, for Pete's sake.
And like you said, when we looked at the best sellers, remember? Like, 2 of the top 5 were the Arcade Archives, freaking Punch-Out, and Mario Bros. It's like,
I know.
Come on!
See, but I know that there's a reason they're doing it. And I know if they told me, it would make sense. You know? And so, I'm trying to think, like, I honestly think if it's because they don't want to... this might sound silly, but maybe they don't want to push indies and nindies away by outselling the nindies. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would be competition, obviously, with everything else. And maybe they want a healthier, you know, group of people that aren't only playing Nintendo games, you know, that are also playing other games on their system. Like, I could see that being a reason, and that makes sense to me, but it's like, that's still like...
Giving money
of
away.
You, Nintendo. That's very noble of you. Yeah, so, I don't know.
I'm thinking it has to do something... Like, I feel like when we finally hear about the online service, and we already know, like, they're adding the online play to the classics. You know, I wonder if they're gonna have some sort of virtual console, whether it is the arcade archive or whatever they want to call it. You know, it might not be virtual console, it might be just classics, or something. Yeah, something like that.
I bet it'll be classics.
Nintendo ages. But
which was, by the way, one of my predictions. Was that it was going to be rebranded Nintendo Classics.
Well, you could double down this year for our E3 predictions, but
yep.
But yeah, I'm thinking there must be some sort of plan, and maybe, like you said, maybe it's sort of a little bit of, we'll give time for the indie scene to grow and get people used to buying indies, and then we'll introduce the virtual console or whatever we do.
And we'll blow them out of the water.
We'll let them think they have a chance, and then we'll just destroy them.
No, seriously, I think that's probably it. And dude, just like the minute they put Advance War, like Game Boy Advance games on there, and it's all over. Like I'm buying every single Game Boy Advance. The only reason I didn't buy it on Wii U is because I couldn't take it with me. You know,
it's because it was the Wii U.
But like, dude, like you should see my 3DS Virtual Console game list. I mean, I got tons of SNES and Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. So it's gonna be,
dude.
Yeah.
Just put I mean, imagine they just released like Pokemon Red and Blue, like.
Oh,
game changer.
Or Fire Red.
Oh man, that would have been that'd be awesome.
Oh my goodness, that would be insane.
But Nintendo's like, no, we don't need that extra money.
I know there's reasons that I know I'm sitting here, and I know there's reasons why. They're not that stupid.
Well, this last little bit of news we talked about is how Sega beat Nintendo to the punch with the classics, right?
Enjoy it for now, Sega.
Well,
take whatever wins you can get.
That's not the only thing that a rival company's beating Nintendo to the punch with. That would
be Microsoft.
Yeah, Microsoft and Minecraft will have achievements.
Yeah, this is the first I've heard of this. What do you mean by this?
So, like when you play, like, you know how you have to log into your Xbox profile, like you need to create one.
Oh yeah.
So you can so
this will get you Xbox achievements.
So you can your gamer tag or whatever. I believe you go online, and there might be a way within Minecraft. I'm not 100% sure about, but you will be able to. It will track and award you achievements for your Switch game.
Interesting. That's really weird.
So you got Sega
awesome.
beating them to the Virtual Console, and Microsoft beating them to the achievements. Nintendo's like, this is easy. We don't even need to do any work.
Yeah. Dude, I was laughing. So I was listening to that predictions episode that we did for 2018 predictions. Mm-hmm. And my first prediction was Reggie was going to leave or get fired.
Boo.
And you're
That's almost like Alex saying Splatoon 2 should be off the list.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not saying that.
I know.
I think he should get fired, so it's different. But you made this joke, like Reggie was probably like, I miss the Wii U days when I didn't have to do as much work.
Yeah, this sucks.
It's so funny. I gotta work now. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, that's cool. But we have one more little news thing. Then we gotta close out this show.
Yep.
It's a packed show with no show topic.
We ain't got no time. We got too many games to talk about to be talking about a topic.
Yeah, and speaking of games that we've talked about, we already talked about this one with the quick bites.
Quick bites.
Yeah, Graceful Explosion Machine has sold over 50,000 games on the eShop. I think, right?
Yes, sir. That's for the Switch.
eShop? Yeah. And really, that's cool for them. Like, I'm happy. I know they were one of the games that was released before the flood. So I think that indie games in that, I think like what are some other games that were like Snake Pass?
Mm-hmm. Oh, and, that was a big one. That was
even Slime Song. I feel like was at the very
that was before Fast
flood,
RMX.
so.
I mean, that was right on launch day.
Yeah,
they were definitely they were paving the road for the indie loving. But that's
really cool. 50,000 units. That's a lot.
Yeah, for a small developer. That's that's life changing. You know, that's going to set them up for their next game, and who knows, maybe even the game after that. So,
which they have confirmed they're working on a new action game, which is going to be quote unquote colorful and will release in 2019.
Very cool, very cool. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's the end of the news. There you go. Like I said, maybe not the most filled in terms of number, but that Dark Souls and our little announcement block within there, not too bad.
Yeah, I know.
Not too bad.
It was definitely hearty.
Hearty.
But let's do a quick break, come back, and then we'll close out the show.
Alrighty, we are back, but we're getting ready to go. But we've got a couple things to chat about before we do clean it out here. Now,
yes.
First off, it's time once again, Perry. Do you know what time it is?
I don't.
Well, you should, Jimmy. You wrote it down. It's giveaway time, baby.
Did? Oh! See, part of my document is closed off. Giveaway time! Here, I got a jingle for that. There you go.
You got to do the Jimmy Witcher. It's a giveaway.
I'm the boss. Anyway, yeah. Okay, what's our giveaway?
Yes, we're going to be giving away a $10 eShop gift card to commemorate the return of Talk Nintendo Challenge, although it's getting a little bit of a rebrand, right?
A little rebrand.
We're just going to slap on a little surname.
Yep, NWR's Talk Nintendo Challenge. So yeah, it's returning. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. We took a little hiatus because we were trying to figure out, what the best way to do it was because we weren't getting too many views. But now we're going to be releasing on NWR TV, along with the reviews and all the content that's on there already. This is going to be a weekly show, and we're super happy to be able to make it. And we're going to have other staffs on the show.
Yeah.
Probably have Just Nation come on to
beat you down.
Beat us down at stuff. It'll be really fun. So what our giveaway is going to be is on Twitter. Go check us out at Talk Nintendo Pod. What is that, Casey?
Talk Nintendo POD.
Yeah, so follow us there, and we'll have a tweet that'll probably be pinned.
I'll pin that sucker.
And then what you do is just like it and retweet it, and then
reply.
Reply. And we want suggestions for Talk Nintendo challenges. This can literally be anything. I mean, we can hook up anything. I mean, we really can. Wii U or Switch. Probably would be nice if it was on Switch.
Yeah, Switch would be easy. We do have Retrons
but honestly,
for classic games too.
We have Retrons. So anything, you can come up with anything, and that will count as an entry towards the $10 eShop gift card. Note for Canadians or Mexicans or anything, I think this can be international, but
it's going to be a North American
from a different country
card.
Well, hold on. I think we can do it internationally, but if it is internationally, it's just going to be PayPal money.
Oh, well, I was going to say that, or they just make sure to have a North American account. Because it works that way as well.
But we can discuss it. True. Yeah.
Okay. So all that information on exactly how to enter will be pinned. It will go live when this episode goes live. So like I said, the tweet will be there, and we will announce the winner when we record this next week on the 24th. So it'll be open for a couple days. Make sure to jump over there and get in while you can. Of course, like I said, we're going to be doing more video stuff, which for those who are newer listeners and haven't listened, the Talk Nintendo Challenge is where Perry and I sort of square off in pretty much any random game, head-to-head battle. We've done ARMS, we've done Mario Kart, we've also done games like Donkey Kong Country and Super Mario World on the Super Nintendo, and doing
arcade games too, like Mario Bros. Or Donkey Kong, the original Donkey Kong. And
So
so much
yeah,
fun.
so it doesn't necessarily have to be limited to just your standard, oh, that's a, competitive multiplayer game. It can be sort of that, like, oh, we did a speed run of the first world of Mario World 1, and see who beats it first. So you can think out of the box there. But yeah, we're going to be putting all of that on Nintendo World Report TV on YouTube. I'm actually going to be, as many of you probably know, Labo's coming out this Friday. And I'm actually going to be doing a stream over on Nintendo World Report TV of the construction of the variety kit, as well as probably some gameplay, barring it doesn't take me 8 years to put those cardboard boxes together.
Dude, it's gonna take you so long.
Oh, I know. It's gonna be like...
Is Kate gonna help?
Yeah, probably.
She better. That's like a per
so,
hour. Totally.
yeah, no, that should be pretty fun. If you are interested in Labo, I will be doing that around 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And like I said, you can just go right NWR TV on YouTube. Again, that's where all of our video stuff goes up to. So, yeah, I think that's going to probably bring us to an end here. Yep. Again, we thank you for listening. Again, we hope you guys all sort of jump in on this giveaway, and hopefully someone walks away with a nice $10. And that's the end of the podcast. I've said my piece, Perry. I've said my piece.
Peace. All right, goodbye. Fun. I had a weak clap there.
Well, you are weak.
Well, you're gonna introduce. I'm gonna do it when you introduce me.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you were getting it from the get-go.
Well, should I? Yeah. We can just do it from the beginning.
Yeah, I thought that was just gonna be the intro.
Okay. We can do it.
Well, sometimes you just need to go down to the sea.